Rockbridge Regional Jail inmate Kasey Ogden is no stranger to struggle. Unmarried and pregnant at age 17, the 33-year-old raised a son on her own while her partner faced time in jail. Since then, Kasey has had 2 other children out of wedlock, and the road alone hasn't been easy.
You can pay your bills, you can feed your kids. As a single mom, you can do all that, but you can't teach your son how to be a man. You can't do that. And that's the hardest thing.
Kasey says she turned to selling drugs to help support her children, and it seems other unwed parents do the same as they scramble to stay afloat. Kasey says the first mistake unwed single mothers make is to lose hope.
They get so discouraged about having a kid by themselves that they get to where they don't look for outside resources. They're content being miserable in their own things.
20-year-old inmate Cleveland Southers had his first child out of wedlock when he was only 12 years old. He also fell into illegal activity when faced with providing child support for his 3 children.
I mean, that's why people do a lot of things they do. I mean, like me, I had kids. I got into a lot of trouble. But most of my trouble came from trying to help my kids. I couldn't get a job. I mean, I had tattoos, you know, already had felonies on my record. So I had to do what I had to do to try to help my kids. You know, I mean, what am I going to make money from if I can't get a job?
Inmate Kasey Ogden had her first child out of wedlock at age 16. 8 years, 4 kids, and a handful of fathers later, she remembers one unwed mother inmate who also turned to selling drugs for help.
So I know that she's did like a lot of selling drugs and stuff is what's brought her here. But she said when she gets out, that's the only thing that she knows to raise her kids because their daddy's locked up.
Rockbridge Regional Jail Superintendent John Higgins says that the majority of mothers and fathers in the jail would rather spend time here in jail and struggle to take care of their children than ever give them up through adoption.
I've never seen anybody give up a child. They, for some particular reason, one lady could have 3 children to 3 different individuals, but she has that bond to hold on to the children. They really do. For some particular reason, they don't want to give them up.
Inmates Kasey, Ogden, and Southers are part of a growing national trend of incarcerated unwed parents. A recent study by the U.S. Bureau of Justice Statistics finds that the number of children with mothers in jail has risen 131% from 1991 to 2007. Meanwhile, the number of children with fathers in jail is up 77%. Incarcerated mothers were 3 times more likely to report being a member of a single-parent household than a 2-parent household. Virginia is one of 9 states registering more than a 30% growth in its prison system from 2000 to 2008. That's according to an analysis of the U.S. Justice Statistics completed by the Sentencing Project. But Higgins says that some of the increase stems from mandatory drug sentencing and other stricter regulations. And quite simply, there are just a lot more people incarcerated today than ever before. Meanwhile, inmate Jerry Burnett has 3 girls and 1 boy by 3 women. He sees unwed and single mothers struggling firsthand.
It's pretty hard for females who don't have the father with the children because, I mean, it comes down to it, they got to get help from the state, food stamps, checks every month.
In Virginia, the custodial parent can obtain child support services by approaching the Child Support Enforcement Office. Social services can also talk to the office if they think that a family is in need of child support. And if the non-custodial parents do not pay their child support by the end of 120 days, they will face jail time. Thousands of people across Virginia do not pay their child support every month, according to the Child Support Enforcement Office. The non-custodial parent pays an average of $250 to $300 a month per child. Meanwhile, Higgins says that while most of the inmates don't want their children to follow down the same path, the cycle is often inevitable.
I started 27 years ago. I see some of the same inmates today that comes in. Not only that, now I see them coming back with their children, yes.
But Burnett is one inmate who hopes his own children will not fall into the same trap.
Like right now in this days, people are getting pregnant at the age of 17, and I don't think it's a good idea. I don't want my girls to get at that age. I mean, I would be, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be pretty upset.
Upon his release, Burnett plans to take part in a local total action against poverty program called Fatherhood and Families. The program will enable him to spend more time with the son he has never seen before. Burnett, like all of the other regional jail inmates, is entitled to only 2 30-minute visitation sessions with his children, family, and friends each week. Higgins says the visits are sometimes difficult for the kids.
And that's when you really see the emotion of the children. You know, you go back there after visitation, their little handprints is all over the glass, and, you hear them in there talking, they want to see their mom, or they want to see their daddy, or whatever. That's the days it's really hard on the little children.
And with their children's handprints still fresh on the glass, inmates Ogden, Kauser, Southers, and Burnett will await the closely coveted moments of their next family visit. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Caroline Davis.